Have you ever found yourself gazing at the night sky, wondering about the mysteries that lie beyond life and death? Do you feel a pull towards something greater? An essence hidden within you that yearns for truth, even if you can't quite put it into words? Welcome to Analects of Wisdom on our Sacred Texts Summarized series, where we distill timeless wisdom from the world's most profound spiritual and philosophical writings. Together, we'll explore teachings that have guided humanity for centuries, uncovering insights to help you navigate the complexities of modern life with clarity, compassion, and purpose. Enter the Katha Upanishad. Imagine a young seeker, Nachiketa, standing at the doorstep of death itself, unwavering in his resolve to understand the mysteries of existence. This is the foundation of the Katha Upanishad, one of the most captivating and profound spiritual dialogues in human history. The Katha Upanishad belongs to the Yajur Veda tradition and is revered for its direct exploration of the immortal nature of the self. It weaves a story that pulls the listener into a realm beyond the ordinary, where even gods and humans alike are humbled by the depths of existential questions. Nachiketa's journey begins with a simple yet piercing question that echoes through the ages. What happens after death? But his quest doesn't end there. He seeks to understand the essence of the self, that mysterious core which persists beyond the body, and the ultimate truth that transcends life and death. Our story opens in the house of Vajrashrava, Nachiketa's father. During a grand sacrificial ritual, Vajrashrava, driven by ambition and perhaps clouded by his own desires, offers decrepit, unworthy cattle as gifts to the priests. Observing this apparent hypocrisy, young Nachiketa questions his father's actions and intentions. "To whom will you offer me, father?" Angered by his son's persistence, Vajrashrava utters in frustration, "I give you to death." Nachiketa, in a remarkable display of both obedience and spiritual resolve, accepts his father's words as destiny. Without hesitation or fear, he sets out to meet Yama, the god of death, embarking on a path that will illuminate the very nature of reality. Upon reaching Yama's abode, Nachiketa finds the god of death absent. He waits there, steadfast, for 3 days without hospitality, a grave oversight in the ancient tradition that upholds the sacred duty of hosting guests. When Yama finally returns, he recognizes his error and, as a gesture of amends, grants Nachiketa 3 boons. In these boons, we see a microcosm of the human spiritual journey, the longing for harmony, the desire for transcendent knowledge, and the quest to know what lies beyond. 2. 1. First boon: restoration of familial harmony. Nachiketa's first wish reflects a deep human need. May my father's anger be appeased, and our relationship restored. This simple yet profound request underscores timeless values: love, forgiveness, and reconciliation. We witness how even the loftiest spiritual seekers do not dismiss the importance of harmonious relationships. After all, if we cannot find peace within our own family, how can we truly explore the greater mysteries of existence? 2. Second boon: the secret of a ritual leading to heaven. Next, Nachiketa asks for knowledge of a heavenly ritual. Teach me the sacrifice that leads to heaven, that yields freedom from sorrow. This points to our universal human desire for comfort, security, and well-being beyond the limitations of this earthly life. It's a symbolic mirror of our longing to transcend mortality, whether we call it heaven, liberation, or simply peace. Yama instructs him in the details of this ritual, sometimes referred to as the Nachiketa fire or Nachiketa Agni, highlighting the power of right action and intention. 3. Third boon: the nature of the self and the afterlife. Finally, Nachiketa asks a question that penetrates straight to the heart of spiritual philosophy. What happens after death? Does the self exist beyond the body, or does it perish? It is here that the Upanishads' transformative teachings begin to unfold. Who are we behind the mask of our physical existence? Is there a timeless essence that remains when all else falls away? Yama hesitates. These are no ordinary questions, and their answers reveal truths that only the most earnest seekers are prepared to receive. The test. Preyas versus Shreyas. Before granting the final boon, Yama tests Nachiketa's sincerity by tempting him with wealth, power, long life, and every possible earthly delight. Choose sons and grandsons who shall live 100 years. Have vast herds of cattle, elephants, gold and horses. Enjoy all these pleasures at your will. But Nachiketa, unwavering in his quest, refuses. All these are fleeting. Keep your chariots, dances and music. They wear out the senses. They cannot satisfy the seeker of truth. This profound moment captures one of the Upanishad's core lessons: the difference between Preyas, the pleasant, and Shreyas, the good. Preyas is the path of immediate gratification, sensual pleasures that, while alluring, remain transient and leave us ever hungry for more. Shreyas, on the other hand, is the noble path of wisdom, self-realization, and ultimate fulfillment. We too encounter these choices constantly. Do we succumb to fleeting desires, or do we undertake the sometimes challenging but infinitely more rewarding journey towards self-discovery? Yama's revelation. Having tested Nachiketa's resolve, Yama unveils the essence of the Atman, the inner immortal self. The Katha Upanishad offers several key passages, mantras, that guide us toward understanding our own spiritual core. Let's explore some of these luminous excerpts. 1. The self is eternal. The self is never born. It never dies. It did not come from anywhere. It did not become anything. Unborn, eternal, immutable, ancient. It is not slain when the body is slain. Here we discover a radical perspective. Who we are in essence cannot be confined by birth or death. The physical body changes and perishes, but the Atman, the true self, remains untouched. 2. Subtler than the subtlest. It is subtler than the subtlest, greater than the greatest, hidden in the heart of every creature. The Upanishad reminds us that the self is beyond ordinary perception. It's not something you can observe with the senses or grasp with purely intellectual reasoning. Realization comes through introspection, meditation, and a deep stillness of mind. 3. The chariot metaphor. One of the most famous teachings in the Katha Upanishad is the chariot analogy. Know the body to be the chariot, the intellect, buddhi, to be the charioteer, and the mind to be the reins. The senses, they say, are the horses. The wise call the self the rider. If the intellect, the charioteer, is skilled and disciplined, the senses, the horses, remain under control, and the soul, the rider, journeys safely toward liberation. But if the charioteer is inattentive, the senses run amok, dragging the soul into chaos and suffering. 4. The path of discipline and detachment. This self cannot be attained by one who is weak, nor by one who is careless or engages in aimless pursuits. Only through strength and right discipline can one know the self fully. Yama emphasizes that spiritual progress isn't passive. The seeker must cultivate strength of character, detachment from fleeting desires, and unwavering commitment to the inner quest. 5. Unity with Brahman. The Katha Upanishad culminates in the recognition that Atman, individual self, and Brahman, universal consciousness, are ultimately one. As fire, though one entering the world becomes varied in form according to what it burns, so does the one self within all beings become many according to what it enters. Yet it remains itself. In this unity, all dualities dissolve. life and death, self and other, revealing oneness at the heart of existence. A famous exhortation that resonates beyond the Katha Upanishad and has been quoted by spiritual luminaries like Swami Vivekananda is, "Arise, awake, and learn by approaching the exalted ones. For the road is like the sharp edge of a razor, difficult to tread and hard to cross." This is a clarion call to seekers everywhere. Spiritual awakening requires courage, diligence, and a willingness to walk a narrow path. It's not always the easiest route, but for those who persist, the rewards are beyond measure. Reflecting on Nachiketa's quest. As we step away from this ancient dialogue, it's worth pausing to consider how Nachiketa's quest intersects with our own lives. Even today, his unwavering determination to seek truth beyond the surface resonates deeply. What is the nature of my true self? Beneath career, relationships, and social roles, who am I really? Am I content with fleeting pleasures, or do I yearn for something eternal? Each day presents us with choices that either anchor us in the temporal or guide us toward the timeless. How can I cultivate disciplined detachment and unwavering focus? Whether through meditation, self-study, or spiritual practice, we have the power to train our minds and senses, preventing them from leading us astray. Like Nachiketa, each of us stands at a crossroads, confronted with the seductive offerings of Preyas, those shiny, immediate pleasures, and the call of Shreyas, the path that demands patience, integrity, and sincerity, but ultimately leads to lasting fulfillment. This tension between the short-term and the eternal is at the core of human experience. The wise prefer the good to the pleasant. The foolish, driven by fleshly desires, prefer the pleasant to the good. It's a gentle yet firm reminder, which do we choose? The Katha Upanishad is not merely a text to be understood intellectually. It is an invitation to inner transformation. We see in Nachiketa a model for how unwavering devotion to truth can overcome even the looming power of death. Each mantra urges us to look inward, beyond external rituals or social conventions. At its core, the Upanishad insists that the key to immortality lies in self-knowledge. When we realize that our essence is indestructible and timeless, the fear of death naturally subsides. As you reflect on this ancient dialogue, consider letting its questions echo in your own heart. What aspects of my life are guided by fleeting desires and which are guided by deeper insight? How can I align my daily actions with the eternal truths that call me onward? Am I ready to stand like Nachiketa at the threshold of the unknown, guided by a sincere longing for truth? The Katha Upanishad's timeless wisdom beckons us to embark on our own inner pilgrimage, a journey of introspection and courage. Its message endures precisely because it speaks to the human condition in every age, offering a path that leads beyond sorrow, confusion, and fear. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Katha Upanishad. Until next time, may the wisdom of the Upanishads illuminate your path and bring you ever closer to the self that knows no death and no sorrow. If you have enjoyed this episode, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.